Hello everyone and welcome in the next video on my channel, and in this video I will show you how to create a jump system. Okay, so I made this jump system which is pretty simple but really useful, and as you see here I have the default jump, okay, and here are triggers for increment my jump level, to decrement it, and to set it to this default value, so basically this 0. Okay, so I will increment my jump level, and as you see I jump higher now. Okay, I will increment one more time and as you see, jump even higher. And yeah, you can set it up to whatever jump you only want, even if, you know, very high. So yeah, let me go to the max level that I set it up, and I think this will be it. And yeah, as you see here, I can now jump to very high places if I wanted to. But yeah, let me mess around with this and show you how you can make the very far jump. Okay, so I just set it up to be the not the max one, because you can max it out even higher, but it's very high jump. So let me grab the levels and yeah, let's jump. As you see, this is very high. I know why you need this, but as you see, you can jump very high that I don't even see the base plate. So yeah, that's what it's all about. And this was the first system using the movement modulators. So as you see here, we have the movement modulators, and for, you know, each level we have one movement modulator with the upward impulse, and when I jump, the upward impulse is basically applied. And there's one more system that I have, and this is for physics. Okay, so whether you want the physics one or the movement modulator one, I have you covered with two. Okay, but to enable the physics one, you need to go to projects, go to project settings, and here you need to enable physics. As you see here, you have physics and you need to set it up to true. Yeah, it's beta access, but you are able to publish your map with physics, so yeah, don't worry about that. And yeah, it's gonna take a while, and now the physics is all done. Let me disable this device that's covered movement modulator, so I will just enable at game start set to false, so this will not longer work, and I will enable this one. And yeah, let's go to game and let's test it out. Okay, so this is the physics ones, and as you see, when I jump, it's like a little body. That's why I prefer more of a movement modulators, but I guess if you use input triggers and disable the jump, that should be alright. And as you see, it works well. And yeah, it's basically don't need devices to work, it's all in code. So that's why I show also this example, because as you see, it's working well. Okay, so that was it in the showcase. Let's go to the code and let's see how it works. Okay, so let's start from the movement modulators, and as you see, first of all we have the action type. So this is basically that we need in the point trigger. And yeah, okay, maybe let's start from this. And yeah, this is basically a save data. Okay, so here we're saving the jump level for a player. So as you see, this is a saved one. So when player leaves the games and join the game, he will have his progress saved. Okay, so it's not the session one, it's the basically saved with per stable. Okay, so it's pretty simple. We have some weak map with a player OCT and the player jump data, so final per stable and the jump level. Okay, here we have jump system settings. So this is basically a simple settings. Here we have the default jump level. So basically, when player are initiating this is he will get this level as default. Okay, so you can maybe go with 50 as the default level if you want to, but this is, you know, the default level that you can set. Here we have index per level, and this setting actually apply to the movement modulators. As you see here, is an array. Okay, so for example, if you have array of 5 movement modulators, okay, per this index per level, so this is basically 2 now, so per 2 level we will increase the index by 1. Okay, so for example, the first index, so 0 index, will be activated at the level 0 and 1. The first one will be at 2 and 4, or 3, and 2 will be at 4 and 5. Okay, so this is basically how this works. If you want, you can do it one, and every single level player will get boosted to the next movement modulator. But if you don't want it to work that way, you can make it so every 2 level player will have the new movement modulator. Okay, that's pretty simple, and I use it on my own map, so that's why I added here. Next we have the point trigger jump. Okay, and here is basically to add level, decrement level, and set the level, so you can, you know, make your own shop to it or whatever you only want. So first of all, we have the trigger device. So when this trigger device is triggered, we do action. Okay, so action is basically our enum, increment, decrement, or set. So we do action by this amount. Okay, so for example, you have 10 in this amount and you have increment. So when this trigger is triggered, we basically incrementing our jump level to the player by this amount, so in our case 10. Okay, here we have the main device. So maybe main device to basically spawn our function handle trigger. Okay, and it's basically, you know, the simplest way to do it, so we can get this data with the amount and action. Okay, let's go to our main class, and here we have our jump settings, the movement modulator. So that's basically a simple array of our movement modulators. Next we have our point trigger, so this is basically an array of these triggers, so you can add as much triggers as you want. So, you know, you can maybe do some parkour for jump, or I know, it's really countless possibilities with that, as you see. And here we have the max jump level. So this is basically a variable, and I calculated with the how much movement modulators do you add it. So for example, like you have 50 movement modulators and index per level is 1, so your max level will be 50. Okay, if you have this index per level to 2, the max level will be 100. Okay, so that's basically it. Here we initializing our point triggers, so we setting up the maybe main device to self. So self is basically this device. Okay, so this creative device that we have placed here. Okay, so basically this one, so we can access all the functions and class or whatever we only wanted. And next we subscribe to our trigger event for our trigger device, and we are accessing this trigger, so basically this class and the onTriggered function. Okay, so we're subscribing to this function for each trigger. Next we're getting the play space, and we're looking for all players, initializing the players that are already in game, and we're subscribing for the new players that join the game to init the player. Okay, and yeah, we have the get player level. So this is basically a utility function that we can probably move down, it will be better. Okay, but this is the utility function to get the player level. Okay, so if we have the player, we're basically getting his level. If not, we basically returning the default jump level. Okay, if there's some error or whatever. And we spawn the watch player jumps. So basically what it's for is we don't use input triggers for, you know, getting the jump, because we have in our fourth character something called jumped event, and as you see here, we have signal data when this fourth character jumps. So this is basically the best way to do it. So when the player jump, we are waiting for that, and we activating current modulator. So basically getting his level from the player level, and we calculating the index from this index per level, blah blah blah. So it's, you know, we're calculating this index, and we're getting the movement modulator from our index that we calculated, and we activated that movement modulator. Okay, I will show you the movement modulator settings in a second, when just finish this code. So here, first of all, we're getting the fourth character, we're spawning the race. So basically it spawns these two tasks at the same time, and yeah, it's basically this is a race. So if this task like player jump, this will be first one and this will be second. So yeah, it's basically I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, we can spawn two tasks at the same time. Okay, so next, and yeah, we have the remove player, and here we basically return the function. So basically close it when players leave the game, but we need to see if this player is the player that we checking for, because if we don't have that check, if you know some player will leave the game, it will cancel the whole function for all the players in the game. So we need to check here if this player is actually the player that leaves the game. Okay, next we have our handle trigger. So this is basically a function that handle our point triggers. As you see here, we're getting the point trigger jump, so the data from it. So we have the amount and the action. Okay, and we're here providing the agent. So first of all, we're getting the player from our agent. Okay, so to access the player level, and we're getting the level, so get player level. Okay, and we're creating a temp variable to the new level, and we're setting it to the new level to the current level so we don't override it or whatever. Okay, and next we do case with the trigger action, and we have three possible possibilities. So we have increment, decrement, and set. Okay, and it basically check if this is increment, we set in new level to current level plus trigger that amount. If this is decrement, we set in current level minus trigger that amount, and if this is set, we basically set in the new level to the amount. Okay, next we have simple check. If new level is less than 1, we basically setting the new level to 1. Okay, and here we have the else if we max our level, we basically setting the level to max, so we don't go further than max level. Okay, and we setting the jump level, so basically we saving it in the persistent data as you see here. Okay, and that's basically it in this code. Let's go to UEFN and I will show you the movement modulator settings. Okay, so here we have our movement modulators. I have 5 of them as you see, but let's start with this, for example, second one. Okay, and I also want to tell you that when you're doing this with movement modulators, it's nice as an inner zero to have the upward apply impulse to be set to false. So it basically so make it basically clean. Okay, so sometimes it bugs when you have this to like apply impulse and upward impulse to like 500, it bugs the jump as the first level. So yeah, basically just set it up to not apply any impulse for the first one. And the second one, we have the apply impulse, and we have forward impulse to 0 because we don't want to send player forward but upward. Okay, so we have our upward impulse to whatever value we want, but as you see here, we have the 5000 as the max value. And what if I want to player to jump higher, okay, than 5000? So basically type in search or whatever you want, it can be in your notepad or whatever, the value you want. Okay, so for example 500,000, select it, copy it, and go to this upward impulse, and here you need to paste it. Okay, and as you see, now you can mess around with the UEFN, and as you see, you have much more than 5000, and the player will jump really high. Okay, so next let's go to our movement modulator spares device, and here we have the jump settings. So as you see here, you can set it up because it's editable, so you can set to whatever values you want. Here we have our movement modulator, so here you can also add as much movement modulators as you only want. And the point triggers, which is also an array of this class, you can add as much as you want. And this is pretty simple class, like to have the trigger device. So this is basically a basic trigger device, the amount that you want to increment, decrement, or set. So for example 100, and I want to increment 100 amount, 100 levels per click on this trigger. Okay, so when I trigger this trigger, I will get 100 levels, okay, on plus. So that's basically how this system works with the movement modulators. And let's now go to the physics. Okay, so the code for the physics ones look actually pretty similar. As you see here, we have the action types, the save data, okay, the settings, and the settings are a bit different because here we have the max level because we don't use movement modulators, so there's no way to calculate that. So you basically set the max level, and here we have jump to add per level, and this jump is calculated in tiles. Okay, so tile is basically this square. Okay, so this is 1 tile, 2 tiles, 3 tiles. Okay, so that's basically a wall. So yeah, that's basically 0.1 the tile, so like this fraction of this tile. Okay, so something like that. So we can add whatever jump to as you want. So for example 1 tile per 1 level, or 0.1 tile per 1 level. Okay, so that's basically pretty nice. Here we have the default jump level, so as it before, and here this max jump level. So yeah, you can set it to whatever you want. Okay, this is up to you. Here we have the point trigger, so this basically works the same way as the previous one, so there's no need to explain it. And here, yeah, the same things. Here is the same initializing. Yeah, we need to initialize the player, and yeah, we spawn it watch player jump. So this is also the same thing, but here we have the different jump logic. So we're getting the player level. Okay, so we're getting the player level, and here we're getting the force from level, because when we want to apply force, we need to apply it in newtons. Okay, so I made this function with the AI, obviously, because I'm not that good in math, to get the Newton force from tiles. Okay, so here we have the tiles. Okay, so for example 5 tiles, we multiply them by 512 units. Okay, and we get the 1 tile. Okay, so yeah, we're getting basically the value in units, so we converted tiles into units. Okay, and here we doing some, you know, we're getting squared from these units, and we multiply it by this strange number to get the Newton's force. Okay, and this is pretty accurate. I tested out, so yeah. And as you see here, we basically getting the force from level. Okay, so we getting the Newton force from tiles and we're returning it. And here, when player jump, we basically run a function apply force to our fourth character, and we need to provide in which direction we want this force to be. We can do it, you know, up in what is the vector 3, left and forward. Yeah, so it's basically all the things that we can do. And if you want to, for example, make it down, you basically can set minus before it and it will negate it. Okay, so make it down instead of up. And yeah, that's basically the same loop as before. And yeah, everything else is pretty similar, like the same. So that was it in this video basically. And you can get all these assets, so basically these two systems, on my Discord completely for free. Just, you know, you need to join, link is in the description, and you will have it in the free assets. Okay, so that was it in this video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you find this tutorial helpful, and yeah, I see you guys in the next one.